I recently did something really uncharacteristic for me. I brought in 5 new Oracle decks. Let's take a look. Hey friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elizabeth and I share deck flip-throughs, spreads, VRs, and so much more. Today I want to share with you 5 inspired purchases. First deck, Queen of the Moon Oracle. This is a deck by Stacy DeMarco, and this was inspired by a video that I saw on Rachel Newman's channel. She uses this deck in combination with the Sun Oracle, and she uses it to get kind of sun and moon energy readings, which I thought was very cool. And I did look at quite a few flip throughs, but I decided that the moon oracle was the one for me. All right, this is a glossy deck, so we are going to do the best that we can. So I picked this up because I thought it was great as a moon deck. If you like to work with the moon phases, I would love to do more work like that. And I thought this would be a great deck to pull in when I am ready to kick off the full moon rituals again. It's really beautiful and the guidebook is great. I love all of the keywords in this deck. I really loved the way that Rachel was using this deck. But for me and my practice, I decided that the moon deck would be wonderful. Love the representation here. This card is so good. Yeah, it's a gorgeous deck. And it's a nice size deck, you know, it's pretty chunky. The cards are manageable, so it should be fairly easy to shuffle. I like all the diversity. The colors are amazing. And we even get cards for various moons in addition to the moon phases, which I kind of like. There were a few in here that I have heard of and worked with before, but there were some new ones for me too. And I like that when you bring in a deck and you can learn from it. I don't think I have any other Stacy DeMarco decks. That's the cover. I like having a masculine card. Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Beautiful backs. Looking forward to incorporating this into my practice. Deck number 2, Cosmic Crossroads Oracle. This is a deck that I actually just recently learned about, and it was recommended by a friend, Ange, over at Roots and Waves. And at the time, I thought to myself, no, it's not for me. I don't think it's for me. And I passed. And then I happened to stumble on a video by Soul Dreamer. And if you know Nova Mundi's channel, she has a hashtag pair this deck. Well, Soul Dreamer was participating in that hashtag and pairing the Cosmic Crossroads. And when I saw it, uh, the way that it paired with so many different decks, it immediately changed my mind. I saw it paired with a few decks that I already have in my collection, which is great, because then you don't have to go run out and pick up any new decks. I always want to be able, when I bring a deck in, I want to be able to use it with my existing decks. And not all deck pairings are always going to be visually, pleasing or aesthetically beautiful. But for me, the most important thing is when the cards speak to each other. Sometimes you put two decks together and they don't look all that great, but you immediately start receiving intuitive hits, right? That's what I'm looking for. In this case, though, I saw this paired with a couple of decks and I was like, whoa, maybe I should rethink that. So I ended up going back and adding this into the cart as well. And I have to say, all of these are mass market, all of the decks in my haul. So that also helps to bring in a variety because at least you know that it's not like, you're spending a fortune by buying 5 indie decks. I love indie decks. Most of my decks are indie actually, but it's good to have a mix. And nowadays, mass market, I mean, you can find some really gorgeous decks, and this one feels amazing. So, yeah, that is the Cosmic Crossroads, a deck inspired by Soul Dreamer. Next, we have Weird Sisters. This is a deck of spells and rituals. And I really like this idea, this concept. I'm a fan of doing ritual work myself. And I liked having a dedicated deck because I often use decks for ritual work. And it's kind of nice to have a deck that could be helpful. I saw this deck on masculine intuition readings, and he was pairing it with another oracle deck that I actually have and love and hardly ever use because I don't have anything that pairs with it. So when I saw them together, I was like, oh my gosh, like this could be the answer. And like I said, I like to do rituals. I like to set up crystal grids. I would love to have a card to place next to an altar space or a grid that I have set up. I usually like to have a few around the house, and it's awesome to have a deck like this that you can learn from and grow, especially if it's something that you're new to, like maybe you don't usually do a lot of ritual work, then something like this could be very handy. And then so the first part of the deck, this deck has a system, right? So the first part of the deck has all of the different spells or rituals, but then there is a candle magic section, which is very cool. And you can see the color of the candles. I love all the little scroll work. It's a simple art, but I feel like enough for you to be able to kind of, get what you need from it. Some of these have sigils, like you can see one here. So if you were working on a spell and say you wanted to scan, right? Like let's say that you did this sigil for protection and then you scan this, right? And you put it on your phone as a screensaver or, on your computer. Uh, that would be pretty cool. Or even like you can print it out, fold it up, and put it in your crystal grid. Like I sometimes like to put stuff like that under the main stone that I'm using in the center of the grid. And then at the bottom, we have tools. See, so we have, this is the last part of the deck. So we have different tools, which is pretty awesome. I love this cauldron. I recently bought a cauldron and my daughter actually picked it up for me I saw it. It was amazing. It was a hanging cauldron. I just couldn't wait for her to get home with it. And then when she got home, it was the smallest thing I had ever seen in my life. So I don't know how usable it's gonna be. It seems like it's more decorative, so that was majorly disappointing. But yeah, I thought this deck would be cool, and I like the art. It's very different. It's very quirky. Purple's my favorite color, and this has a lot of lavender, so it's really neat. Gilded edges. I mean, it's beautiful. So that is the Weird Sisters Oracle, inspired by masculine intuition readings. This is a deck that I have seen so many times. Wow, this is really beautiful. And I thought this would be a great pairing for a deck that I have in my collection. I've seen it paired and I thought it was gorgeous, but I don't know, in the beginning, I was hesitant. Look at those edges. So good. In the beginning, I was hesitant. Okay, so this is gilded. Okay, so just making sure the cards there don't stick. So this is a Feminine Wisdom Oracle. And this deck ended up being inspired by Moon Mama 17. Although I had seen this deck many, many times and thought it was beautiful. I don't know, and I don't even know why this was an issue. When I looked at it, I was like, oh, it looks more like a yoga deck. And it's not a yoga deck, but you know, a lot of the figures are in traditional yoga poses. But I really liked the keywords, and I like when they have additional thoughts here so that you don't always have to lean into the guidebook. Really beautiful. The art is amazing, but you know, there were a lot of cards like this, right? These are traditional yoga poses. I used to remember. I have forgotten so much of my yoga practice. I used to remember all the different poses and, you know, the different chakras that they were associated with. So it might be good for me to have this back in the collection. But anyways, I had seen the decks paired so many times that I was like, no, no, it's not for me. And then I saw it on Moon Mama 17's channel, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I love this card. I love the stretch marks. Like, it's just so good. The cards are stuck just a little, you know, in the beginning, but they are really beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous. This is a lovely heart opener. Uh, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I remember being able to do that. It's funny how our bodies change and flow with time. Really beautiful cards. I always want to be mindful when I separate cards because I don't want to ruin the gilding. I love this art style. Tribe, such a good card. Yeah, a lot of really great cards. I like the color palette. It's a little bit softer, which I love because a lot of my decks are bold, right? What can I say? The card backs are stunning. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad I decided. I'm glad I decided to do it. And Moon Mama 17 said that she loved working with it. So the only thing, it's a smaller deck, right? 36 cards, but a beautiful deck all the same. So yeah, that's my Feminine Wisdom Oracle. inspired by Moon Mama 17. This is a big box. So this is the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck. And I have to say, this is a deck that I have been thinking about bringing into my collection for such a long time. Such a long time. Let me wiggle this out without breaking it. There we go. So yes, I have seen this deck so many times. God, that box is stunning. Look at that. Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads. Love that. Has an awesome, hardcover book. Amazing. Oh, that's a nice size book. I'm looking forward to this. I have heard that this is a great study deck. So yeah, I've wanted this deck for a really long time, and I actually recently saw it paired with decks, which I thought was different but cool, because I always kind of envisioned using this deck as a learning deck to help me understand my chart. And the other day I was watching a VR. I forgot what the VR was. It was like editor's picks or something like that. And I was watching Lisa Papez, and this was her deck of choice for astrology. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. This is not the first time that I am inspired by Lisa to make a purchase. I have had many Lisa made me do it in my time. But yeah, I'm so happy that I got this one in. I mean, this cardstock is gorgeous. So we have the sun and the moon cards. And by the way, each card gives you some additional keywords here on the bottom. And then there's a card for each of the planets. The artwork corresponds. You can see the symbols here in the corner. I really like that. And then ideally what you could do is that you could take this, you can take your astrology chart and kind of lay it out, and it'll help you understand the things that are going on. So I really like that. So here we have, it even includes Chiron. So that's neat. The artwork is beautiful and the colors are so soft. I could see this going with watercolor decks. So, so beautiful. Yeah, I don't know why. I was always worried because I think that a lot of people get this deck and it's gorgeous and it's stunning, but then they end up not using it and then they let it go, right, from their collection. I want always to have decks that are going to be usable for me. Now, we already went through the signs and the planets, and now here we have cards for each of the houses. Which is awesome because a lot of times, like, I don't remember them. I have a little chart, but for me, I'm a visual person, so it's helpful for me to lay out the cards and then match it up to what I'm seeing in my own chart, and then that helps me a little bit better. And then the book, I'm looking forward to being able to use that as well. So 12 houses. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay. And then here we have conjunction. That's another thing. Sometimes you hear like, oh, an opposition or a trine, and you're like, what's that? Oh my God, you know. Is that bad or good? I don't know. So it gives you all of that. Okay, and then we have cards for each of the elements. So it's very comprehensive. It has a lot of great cards in here. And we see yin and yang. Cool. We have cardinal and fixed. And then we have the nodes, which is so great. I'm so excited about putting this deck to use. So that is my Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck, inspired by the lovely Lisa Papez. Since we have some time, let's take a look at some pairings. So here we have the Feminine Wisdom, and I am gonna pair with my Earth Woman Tarot. And like instantly, they're stunning together. I mean, look at that. The art style, the colors, even the way that they talk to each other, right? So, Two of Swords with intuition, listening to your gut feeling and your inner voice when you're stuck in this Two of Wands moment, this moment of indecision. I feel like these are going to be awesome together. The colors look great. Aesthetically, they're beautiful, but they also talk with each other, and that's just as important. Confidence, Ace of Swords. Love that. Yeah. These are going to be really great together. And Earth Woman Tarot is such a great deck. It's one of those decks that's like great for any kind of reading. And it's awesome to have an oracle deck that you can kind of pair with it, you know. I could see these two being bonded. They're so good. So, so good. Yeah, I love these together. All right. So that is my Earth Woman Tarot and my new Feminine Wisdom Oracle. Here we have the Weird Sisters deck, and I wanted to put it with my Vessel. Vessel is a deck that I love but barely use because it doesn't really have I don't do very many like oracle card readings, and I don't have a deck paired with these, but you could see the art style. I mean, they work together, and this deck here has just a little bit more color than the Vessel does, so I could see these working together, like Spell for Manifestation with Fire. I mean, that totally works for me. And a spell for trust with freedom. I mean, hello. Abundance with fear. That would be like a shadow reading, right? Like overcoming this fear mindset or this FOMO or lack with a spell for abundance. See, it just kind of depends. Connect with grounding. I mean, these are so good. I love them together. I'm so glad I listened. Yeah, I saw this on masculine intuition readings, and I knew that I had to have it. They're so good. Yeah, these are going to be awesome. Yeah, love them. All right. So that is my Vessel Oracle with my new Weird Sisters. All right, so here we're going to take a look at the Cosmic Crossroad. And I saw this paired with the Metamuse, and they looked good. But I feel like where it's really gonna be gorgeous together is with the Rosebud. So let's take a look. How beautiful. Life giver with attachment. Ooh, that could go really deep. Two of earth with beginning. Hmm. That would suggest that there is something that needs to change with the two of earth in order for there to be a beginning. Ooh, six of fire with betrayal. That's so interesting because every time I look at this card, I wonder about the relationship between these two. Ooh, generosity of water with change. You can see the water element, the mage, and chaos. If that's not a warning, I don't know what is. Wow. Seven of fire with cherish. You know, we need to cherish ourselves, put ourselves first, front and center. Because why? Because we're worth it. Well, I like these together. I feel like they read really well. All right. I love those together, but I do want to take a look at the Metamuse as well. Okay. So here we have the Metamuse. And aesthetically, they're beautiful, right? Two of Wands with compassion. There's a lot of water energy in this card. Ooh, Prince of Pentacles with confusion. Mm. Three of Swords with connection or lack thereof. Like, this is pretty cool. The Fool and control. And that sense of kind of giving up control in order to step into the Fool energy. I feel like the other deck was aesthetically working well with the Cosmic Crossroads. This one is a little bit different, but I feel like you can get messages from these together. Courage and the Three of Wands. That makes a lot of sense to me. The Hermit and the Light. Finding your inner sparkle. Maybe you need to find your inner sparkle. This could go into shadow work. Queen of Pentacles with denial. What are we denying ourselves? Or what are we denying in our life that's holding us back from this energy? Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I could see these. I could see these. I still think the rosebud is better. Very, very cool. Focus with the Queen of Swords. I mean, if ever there was a queen that was focused, it would be the Queen of Swords. Yeah, these look good together. Okay. All right, I think these will work. So there you have it, something highly uncharacteristic of me to bring in this many decks at once. But each deck has come in with intention, with purpose, and that makes me feel really, really good. I think these are great additions to the collection. I'm very excited to work with these. Friends, if you're passionate about tarot and you love deck pairings, please make sure to subscribe. Tap the bell icon so that you never miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.